Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. We're going to get straight into a video, and it is what's an inquest and why do people have them? Why do, some people have them? Let's get straight into this.
I think this is a great question, and I think that when the coroner gets involved and you end up having inquests around somebody's death, it can be very, very confusing. So essentially an inquest is an investigation into the death of the person. So whether that would be unknown, violent or natural causes. And it's to determine where, when and how. So the coroner is responsible for making inquiries when the death is unknown, and then the investigations are done on behalf of the coroner's office. So it's different from going to court because there's no formal allegations or accusations, and there's no power to blame anyone for the death. At the end of the inquest, the coroner will give their conclusion of what they found, and that will appear on the final death certificate. Once that's been done, the death can officially be registered by the family. But some of the conclusions or verdicts that you can get on a death certificate from a coroner are natural causes, an accident or a misadventure, suicide, alcohol or drug related, industrial disease or a road traffic collision, RTC, neglect. And neglect is usually accompanied by natural causes. If there is an inquest, then it will go through a process of the coroner gathering the information. There will be an investigation. The inquest will then get a date. There will then be witnesses, etc. So an inquest is to determine what the person passed away of.
Thank you to Inez, funeral director. That was some good information there. But I wonder if witnesses were called, what would be said, and what if they did find something suspicious. If anyone's obviously got any answers, it would be really, really good. Is an inquest same as a post-mortem? Let me just read the autopsy. Can a funeral take place while an inquest is taking place, or does that need to be completed before a funeral can take place? Well, they'd buried Jay, didn't they? But you know, obviously there was an inquest in Spain, but like I said, and checking of his body. But like I said, they buried him, so I would imagine so you can have a funeral, and then they'll just go through all the information from you. Yes, it can. The coroner will give you an interim death certificate, so the funeral can take place. All right, that's brilliant news. I feel it's just wild guess. I never felt truly satisfied after my dad just felt it was the best case scenario that they felt happened rather than what truly happened. Interesting. That is a really, really interesting stuff, Emma, what you've just said there. Let me know what you think of that one, people. Thank you for this. We've just been told we have to go to an inquest to Mum's death. I've no idea what an actual meant. This is very helpful in the saddest of circumstances. So that was part one, people. Part two, people. I thought this was very, very interesting stuff. This was from Channel 5, and it goes on to a coroner explains the two parts of body may follow after death and how time and process of decomposition can complicate their work course of death. Very interesting stuff. It's not long, but it's interesting.
Human body starts to decompose. It can decompose in various ways. It can either liquefy or it can mummify. But in either case, you are losing significant amounts of information as to what this person has died from. And whichever approach you take, CT post-mortem or invasive post-mortem, you cannot extract information that's not there. You cannot perform toxicology when there are no samples left.
Thanks for that information. That's really, really interesting stuff. As the body starts to deteriorate, it's hard to get information from that, which is very, very interesting as time passes. I thought that was really some good information there. Welcome to part three, people. What is the purpose of an inquest? And this is from SEC 163, and it's got some interesting information about what is the purpose of a inquest, and something I'm really interested to and learning about as well.
So an inquest has been opened into the death of Nicola Bulley. I'm just posting this just for those.
Just confirm this is obviously the Nicola Bulley case, people. Was a high profile case. I'm sure a lot of you know about it, and obviously I've done a video on my other channel about Nicola Bulley, and we haven't finished with that case yet, so please go over to my second channel and check that video out.
People who are not familiar with the inquest process, and essentially and by the way, it wasn't a full inquest today. They will hold the full inquest at a later date. I think they said probably around June. But the purpose of an inquest essentially is to determine fundamentally how a person died. That is the main focus. They do also do things, which is what they announced today, was the identification of the deceased, which in Nicola Bulley's case, excuse me, they identified her through dental records, is what they stated. So it should also be, a lot of people don't realize that the coroner report that will be coming out it's in the public domain. Anybody can get a coroner's report. You have to explain why you want it, but I am absolutely certain that the press will be getting a hold of the coroner's report as soon as they possibly can. You just simply apply for it. So the idea...
I didn't know anybody could do that. I suppose once that report's there, that's why sometimes the newspaper come out and say, look, this was the cause of death, and get hold of it, obviously. So they've got people looking at it, and obviously it makes their sort of news tabloid a lot bigger in that market field.
All of this speculation and conspiracy that this is all going to be hidden, and it can't be. This is a public judicial process, and the coroner's report will have all of the details of the deceased in there. I've seen coroner reports when, over my 25 years of journalism, I applied for many coroner reports, and I'm pretty sure that the laws for public information are the same in England as they are in Canada. But the BBC will be all over this. So this little sort of quick fact sheet just simply gives you the idea of what the inquest is. A lot of people don't know, as they, hopefully shouldn't, right? But it determines who the deceased was, when and where they died, the medical cause of their death, and how they came to their death, which is, the last one is the fundamental focus, usually, of an inquest. So, yeah, there you have it. I hope this is helpful for people who are wanting to understand the process a bit more.
Thank you very much for that, SEC 163. And the last bit, I don't know, it says it is a fact-finding process. It does not deal with issues of blame or responsibility for the death, or with issues of criminal or civil liability. These can be addressed in other courts if necessary, and that is if the family want to push for that, which is not looking like, people. Let me know what you think, especially that last bit. Interested information, and don't forget to subscribe to channel Streamline Entertainment and my second channel as well. Thank you very much indeed, wherever you are in the world.